Oh, damn.
Sometimes you just got to take a look inward and realize maybe I'm too stupid to do a Honda K2 4-swap. And that's the realization I'm having right now. 351, built motor, built transmission. This thing makes about 400 horsepower. Now the problem is this is a very tiny car. The engine compartment is about the same size as the CRX, so I would have to be crazy to put a V8 in here.
Crazy, so crazy, it just might work.
Hey Casey, you got a 100 horsepower 4-cylinder Toyota in that? Well, let me show you. Bam! People have been asking, where is the Toyota AE86? She's been sitting right outside. A lot of you have seen her in the background of the CRX videos. Sure enough, we brought her in, and I really didn't bring it in for the best reason. We are starting to clean up the shop. 90% of these boxes back here are parts that are ordered for other projects, and we're going to start getting rid of some of them. I didn't want to put them up in storage. I have a lot of stuff that I bought for this. I got a wiring kit, I got a starter, I got an ECU, basically everything for the beautiful, where's the latch? The beautiful Honda K2 4-swap. As you can see, this car is rear-wheel drive, so she's not sitting sideways. She is front to back. And we got it mounted, but didn't have any wiring, didn't have really anything in there. Also, I need to adjust my flywheel. We broke a flywheel. We are running a Nissan transmission, and we broke the flywheel, the custom one that I had made. They sent me another one. It's been here for 6 months, probably. Need to go through the boxes. Just realized I don't know what box it's in. So we need to get the engine out. We need to install all of those parts. I would love to try and, maybe click a starter, see what happens. I don't know if I'll be able to get it running, but I would love to at least hear it turning over. We haven't even got that far yet. But engine needs to come out. Transmission needs to come off of the engine. All kinds of stuff like that needs done. We also have drop coils that need to get installed. The only issue we have with all of that is my front steering is currently not mounted. So my wheels kind of can go wherever they want to go. Yeah, this one's straight, that one's over like it's turning to the right. We need to mess with that some. I had to drop it down to get the engine sitting down where I want it. If not, it would have been above the hood. And yeah, I don't know if we're going to remake all that in this video. I might just order a Mustang 2 rack and pinion. That would probably be easier. Not sure. Either way, we're going to pop the hood off. We're going to start digging in, see what we got to do to get this engine and transmission out. So, let's go. So, found something out. Engine mounts are all Allen head bolts. Not that big of a deal normally. Well, I welded the mounts on, and you can unbolt them obviously, but I already had the plate on there when I welded them, and the bottom Allen bolts, I don't have a small enough Allen socket to get down there. So I cut an Allen wrench, was trying to make it work, can't make it work, and I just don't have enough tools. I can't find a little 8mm to put it on the socket. This is the dumbest reason ever to call it a night, but whatever. I'm tired. I need sleep. But yeah, I'm going to go to the parts store, get a stubby little Allen wrench, and I can pop all those out super easy. But I have worked an hour trying to make a socket work. I've cut a couple of them, and they're just not working at all. So yeah, son of a bitch. We'll be back tomorrow.
The next day.
Picked up a couple tools. I got an Allen socket that is removable. The ones I have, you cannot remove them, but the ones that they sold at the parts store, you can pop these out. So what I'm going to use that socket, and then a tiny little socket, hopefully be able to pry it off. I don't know. Hopefully it takes 5 minutes like it should have and not an hour like I was messing with it last night. And we should, transmission super easy to unbolt, get this damn thing out of here. Let's see what happens. Let's take this damn transmission off. Woo! I totally messed up on my motor mounts. I made them perfect. They looked great. I realized engines go in from the bottom on these cars. So I got to tweak those, or I'm going to have to lift the car up every time I need to get the engine out. Don't want to do that, obviously. So we're going to tweak those. I cut them. I'm going to redo them. We're going to do that for the future. But for now, we got to break that baby down. Okay. Found the new flywheel. It was in a box. It's been sitting for a while. Also found the clutch. Ran into a little bit of an issue. This didn't come with bolts, and it's supposed to. Now, I ordered new Honda bolts from ARP that were $60 or something, and the wrong size. Because this used to be an automatic transmission, and apparently there is a different size with an automatic transmission. Usually it's just supposed to be longer, or shorter rather, because it would just have a flex plate. But these are the wrong size altogether. I don't know if they sent me the wrong ones or what. I have looked everywhere. I do not have a 12 millimeter fine thread bolt in this place. So that's a bit of a bummer. Gonna have to go to the parts store again. Hopefully that's the last time. I also realized I got my starter now. I bought a starter, and I need to make sure I got the right bolts for that so that we don't have to go to the parts store a third time. But good news is there's still stuff I can do. So I was last in here 6 hours ago, and no place in town sells Honda flywheel bolts. Also, I found out what was wrong with the other bolts I bought. Most people call flywheel bolts the bolts that go into the crank that hold the flywheel. Some places call flywheel bolts a clutch bolt. So the bolts that actually go to the clutch are the ones I bought, even though most people call flywheel bolts, flex plate bolts the same thing. That company didn't. So I technically didn't order the wrong, or they didn't send me the wrong ones. I just should have paid attention to the pitch and thread. Went to 2 auto parts store, 2 hardware store, and Fastenal. None of them have a 12 millimeter by 1 thread bolt. And these are weird. They're like super fine, and they're 12 millimeter, which is hard to find. So luckily, they had them on Amazon. I next date them. I hope I get them tomorrow because I can't finish any fabrication. I can't put shit together. I can't do much of anything without this on here. I still want to get the shot or the springs in. I got lowering springs for it, but I did find 2 of the original flex plate bolts. These are way too short for a flywheel because obviously your flex plate is like a 1/4 inch thick. This is 3/4 of an inch thick, but I should be able to get them started so I can kind of start making sure everything lines up. I want to do that. That way, if I'm missing any other bolts, I'll find out tonight. So I'm going to kind of get it sitting up there with these, and then we can just kind of barely put it together, but I'm not going to bolt a bunch of stuff up because these will have to come back out. We'll have to put the right ones in when they come in. Also, O'Reilly's did have the starter bolt, so I do have the starter on there now, which is nice. But yeah, let's see what happens. Most likely, I'm going to spend about 20 minutes on this, and we're going to start taking the springs out. So this is pretty stupid. So naturally I needed to make sure the camera was on. I got the flywheel on there, only has 2 bolts in it, and they're too short. Also got the starter on there. It doesn't look like the starter is spaced right at all. I don't think it's gonna hit the ring gear. At least it doesn't look like it. So I'm gonna hook up the battery and hit the starter and see what happens. I know it can't start. I have nothing plugged in. Technically it should still turn over. Or the starter's going to jam and I'm going to have to change something. I don't know what you could change. There's not much adjustment on this, if any. Technically, I can move it out more with spacers, but on a Chevy, when you move it down, you're moving it away from the ring gear. On this, you would technically just move it completely out of the way. It wouldn't go down to like adjust it. It would just be out of the way more, which doesn't make sense, but let's see what happens. Oh, helps if you hook your ground up. We're going to hang that right there. Don't want to bolt it up and make it, you know, nice. Ooh, might need to get the ground on there a little bit better than I had it. It just sparked. Yeah, I should probably actually throw a bolt in that, but I'm lazy. I'm just going to hold it. So. Boy, she's got good compression. Holy shit. Sweet! Oh! Oh, god damn! Oh my god. Yeah, let's see if we broke something. There, good. Okay, not gonna do it anymore. I don't want to put any strain on those. Look at all the arc marks on my clutch. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. That's alright. Okay, good. That's great. Wasn't sure if any of that was gonna work. Definitely need to clean that up real quick. It's okay, it didn't hurt the clutch material, so that's nice. I am going to just kind of semi-put the clutch up here just to make sure it's good. But like I said, I gotta take it all back out. I need to find my little dowel pins. There they are. Where's my other one? Knowing me, I probably kicked it somewhere. Oh, yes! Got it. Other dowel pin goes right there. Now, normally, which way does that go? I don't remember which way that goes. Definitely need to clean this up. It has wet cardboard stuck in it. Looks like rust. That's great. And then this goes this way? I think it goes that way. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Something like that. Bada bing, baby. Cool. Alright. Look at all that shit. Look at all that rust. And then this is just cardboard from sitting. So it's not actually rust, but it still needs cleaned up with a wire wheel real quick. I cannot believe I sparked that. Yeah, it works, baby! All right, I don't love the way the clutch is bolting up. I feel like maybe that's the wrong pressure plate. It's just not, normally they just sit on there. This one you gotta push it down. You shouldn't have to do that. So I don't know, that's a little upsetting. Son of a bitch, this thing has just been a pain in the ass. This is why you don't buy parts 8 months ago, because then you can figure shit out. But it is what it is. I'm going to get the car jacked up. I might not get the springs out, but I might see if I can't get a clutch and a pressure plate at the parts store tomorrow. Don't want to do that very badly, but might have to. But I do want to get this jacked up and ready for the springs to come out so I can just come in and start messing with it tomorrow. But we'll see. Shit, I've wasted so much time looking up shit on my phone. It's just not getting any building done. I bet today was, between running for parts and looking shit up, I'm like 8 hours in. Ugh, very annoying. This is why you stick to easy shit. All right, let's jack this baby up. I think this car hates me. I spent 45 minutes getting this wheel off. Oh yeah, look. It's just corroded straight to the drum. Holy shit. I had to beat the hell out of that. Oh, I'm out of breath. Okay, fuck it, I'm done for today. I hate this fucking car.
The next day.
All right, we're back, baby. It's a beautiful day out. Look at that Impala. God, I love that Impala. Jeez, I lost track of thought. Oh, haven't got my flywheel bolts yet. That's a little upsetting. If I don't get those early enough today, this video won't be out on Friday, which is very upsetting to say the least, but we still have a lot of stuff to do. I'm gonna get these springs out of here, get the new ones in. Where are my new ones? And my box is full of shit over here. This shop is crazy right now. There they are. All right, cool. Let's cut some shit and remove some shit. Got the rears in. Well, the rear side in. Looks great. Didn't really have as much drop as I thought. We might have cut a little bit. Would you buy a brand new spring and cut it? Don't do that. Don't be stupid. But I might have. It wasn't very low. It wasn't as low as I wanted. Also, these springs are softer. So when I put them side by side with the stock spring, they were the same height. And I was like, these are supposed to be 2-inch drop or whatever. But I think they're just a little bit softer. So probably cut too much, to be honest with you. But that's a problem for future Casey. We're present Casey right now. We're not worrying about it. In 20 minutes, I might be bitching about it. But let's go to the other side. Rear is done. Looks pretty damn good. I'm not going to put the wheels on yet. Let's get the front done. Also, just text the wife. Bolts aren't even on the truck yet. So That's not great. All right, let's do the front. Driver's side is done. Looking pretty. Now we gotta do the other side. And when you do these, to get the strut out, you essentially have to take the front end apart. You gotta take the sway arm off, the torsion bar, just everything. But luckily, on these, even though it's a lot of shit to take off, it's like 6 bolts. It's no big deal. Yeah, let's go do the other side. Passenger side is done. I also went ahead and adjusted some of my sway bar mounts and stuff to get everything a little bit more square. There's like 8 bolts that hold the whole subframe in. Well, I cut all that up and then I only put like 3 bolts back in. So it's still a little wonky. Took some pulling, took some yanking, but everything is bolted up back stock now, which is nice. And we should be good to throw the wheels on. That back wheel that was seized on there, it had aluminum corrosion from the wheel to the drum. The drum is steel. Anybody that's ever had an old set of aluminum wheels on for too long, you know that. But I also realized I have really bad corrosion in my center hole. So I need to waller that out just a little bit, clean it up there. Probably go ahead and just do it to all of them. And then we'll get the wheels mounted, take the jacks out, and see how she's sitting. I can already tell the back is low because I have the jacks on the suspension. The front, my jacks are on the frame, so I'm not quite sure up there. Let's do that, see how she's sitting. Moment of truth! Stuck on the steering, hold on. Forward a little bit. Why is that so high in the front? I know we don't have a motor in it, but damn. Oh, okay, never mind. We're still up a lot. The front's way too high. But I probably need to wait till I get an engine in it before I adjust it. But look how much higher that front is. Doesn't look bad by any means, but boy, the back looks better. Probably need to take another coil out of the front. Shocks are still working very well in the back. But I don't want to take a coil out, get the motor in, and then have it be too low and then have issues. But whenever I jumped in it, it was still pretty damn high. That sucks. The front is not the easiest to take apart. If the back was still too high, you can take it apart about 20 minutes. The front, not so much. That's all right. We'll wait to adjust that till we get a motor in it. She still don't look bad, though. Still probably 3 inches lower in the front and probably 4-ish in the back. Maybe more in the back. She looks good, but it could look better. Still no bolts. Very annoyed at that, but I do have my wiring kit, my key, and my ECU. I don't see any wires going to the key, so that's a problem. We might need to order some parts, but let's start seeing what we need and what we have. So let's plug some shit in. Well, came to a pretty big situation. I bought a full wiring kit, ECU, key, everything. It's half of the wiring kit. It's only the engine harness. I have nothing basically to the key, nothing to power, nothing off the ECU. You know, technically you would need another plug to come off to wire in a couple things. So that's bad. We're going to have to order some parts. Also, I am missing probably 5 different sensors on this. I knew I didn't have some because I bought a new intake and they didn't come with them. So I knew a couple were missing, but had no clue it was this much. So we are going to go look up a bunch of shit on the phone for the next 2 hours and see what the hell happens with this video. What a bitch. Also, it's 4 p.m. No bolts yet. So it's looking worse and worse by the minute. All right, we got to have ourselves a talk. Flywheel bolts that I needed, I paid next day shipping on them so that I could have them today. I placed that order yesterday at like 3 p.m. Should have had them this morning. That's been pushed back to Saturday. Today's Thursday. So I'm not even going to get them on Friday now. So this video is shot for Friday. There's no chance I can get it done by Friday. So that's really annoying. Don't love that. The sensors that I'm missing, these aren't like crazy rare sensors. I need like knock sensor, throttle positioning sensor, oil pressure, like just normal shit. Everybody has these. Normally, everybody has these. Can't find any of them in town. Have to order them. Called O'Reilly's, called AutoZone, none of them have them. Not for the year and the whatever I need. To say that that is getting annoying is an understatement. I mean, you talk to any car builder, it sucks having to order parts. But like YouTubers, we have crazy schedules. We're always trying to get a video done. And the fact that every time I need a part for this, it's something I have to order. They just don't have them in stock anywhere. Even the bolts, normal, metric, or no big deal. Can't find them. That is getting old so freaking fast. I haven't ran into any of that with the Honda. Now, obviously, it's a Chevy-powered Honda, but like nuts, washers, shit like that hasn't been an issue. So those are two things that are kind of already pushing me over the edge. The third thing, talked to my buddy who I've been talking to about this. He's done several Honda stuff. He basically told me what I needed to order, what I needed to do. I ordered wiring harness, just a cheapy one, and then I got an ECU and a key. Hondas, their keys are paired to the ECU. You can't really break that pairing. They have to talk to each other, and there's really no way around it unless you do like custom wiring. No big deal. That was like $200 or $300. I was like, hey, whatever. After looking at everything, I don't have enough to make the motor run, so I started messaging him. Well, the way he does them, he cuts all this shit apart and makes his own wiring harness. He spends like 50 hours making a wiring harness. He sent me a diagram. He's like, oh yeah, you gotta pull pins out of connectors to hook them to other pins to bypass shit and all this stuff. And I was like, man, that's not even fun for me at all. I'm sure I could do it, but if it takes him 40 to 50 hours to make one and he's done 100 of them, it's going to take me a month. I mean, I'm going to have to just have a manual the whole time I'm doing it. So, they do sell a plug-and-play kit, wiring kit, ECU key. They are $2,200. So that's the third thing. At this point, like, are we really going to spend this much time and energy on 200 horsepower? It's not... It's really starting to lose its charm. I just made a post on Facebook, Instagram. Follow me, Caseyscustoms. Also, I think I did it here on YouTube to say, should we scrap this whole idea, throw a V8 in this thing? It's going to be so much easier, especially for me. I don't want to be like a one-trick pony, but that's the coolest car on the planet. I can't imagine this one wouldn't be cool as shit with a V8 in it. But yeah, this whole need to order sensors. Also, one of the sensors, I can't remember what it was, but it was going to take a week. And I'm like, well, shit. We just kind of have to have a talk. I don't know what's going to happen in the next video that you watch, but I am bummed. My spirits are very low. These are fun engines. You can really build them up. They need to be turbocharged if you want to make any real power. Now, granted, the stock horsepower of the Toyota motor that came in these, it was only like 140 horsepower. So 200 is huge. We were going to turbocharge it, get it to 300. That's more than this car ever would have needed. They're lightweight, they're fun, but it's just kind of, it's not my style, man. Not my style. Also, the guy I talked to who builds a bunch of these, I told him I turned the motor over. I was all happy, but I said the exhaust was plugged with paper towels. He said, even turning it over, you should have shot those out of the exhaust because it should have just been enough compression to do that. So I got to looking in there. Some of my valves look real shitty. They're corroded and pitted. So I don't even know if the stupid thing's going to run even after we spend all that money on it, because the guy I got it from, I knew it was sitting a while. I think my valves are all shitty. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. We've lost a whole day looking for parts in this, and I don't know. I'm going to probably do some thinking, and we'll see what happens in the next video that you see. I just don't know. But I am fucking bummed, man. Not only to miss a video, that really pisses me off. But to miss a video just because I don't have the parts and I can't get the parts for simple shit is kind of crazy. Sorry for the rant. This is 5 minutes long. I don't know if Richard's going to cut it down or not, but yeah. We'll see what happens in the next video.
The next day.
So I decided, even though it's been hard to find parts and I need to do a bunch of wiring and I don't love the adapter and I think I have the wrong clutch, I'm going to go ahead and just order the parts. I'm going to wait the week that they take to show up. The bolts still aren't here, by the way. Those are next day order, and it's been 2 days now. Still haven't showed up, but I'm going to stick with this motor, and maybe this video will come out in like 2 weeks whenever I finally get the parts, and then hopefully we can get it together. That's what I would say if I didn't just buy a small block Ford 351, built motor, built transmission. This thing makes about 400 horsepower. It was in a derby car, as you can tell from the crazy headers, and took some measurements. I didn't realize this at the time. Ford motors are like 4 inches narrower than a Chevy motor. Maybe 3 inches. 3 or 4 inches. It's a big difference either way. We already know that. So, took some measurements. This baby is going to fit in there just fine. I'm going to probably end up biting those words here in a little bit, but I have all new mounts coming, Ford mounts coming from Speedway. I should have all those tomorrow. So what I want to do right now is get this baby cleaned up, obviously take those headers off. We're not going to use them, and just kind of go over it. Looks really good. I'm very happy with it. Has a bunch of new parts on it. Running and driving, still has gas in the carburetor. I saw videos of it running and driving, so I know it's good. Very, very happy. But let's take these headers off and then get the old girl cleaned up because she is a little muddy. Now, I just said a little muddy. Some people might go, mud on your engine? Yeah, this was in a derby car, so it is filthy. Also, even though it's really nice and newer, it has, I think, 88,000 miles is what he said they took out. I think this was originally fuel injected. They swapped it over for a carb. But it has the common Ford valve cover gasket leaking, so we got some oil in there. Looks pretty good though compared to what it is. Very low mile engine. They've souped it up a little bit, had some fun with it, and now it's my turn to play with it. I want to get it all cleaned up. I will probably end up putting new valve covers, obviously new valve cover gaskets on it at some point. I'm not going to do that right now. Here's the only thing that I don't love. They were running a 2-barrel, and I happen to have a badass giant 4-barrel carburetor that we took off of this. So I probably will end up swapping the intake over because I would much rather have this big boy on there. This thing is a beast. I really like this. I think I've had this on 3 different cars now since Holly sent it to me, and it has ran great on every single one of them. So yeah, we'll probably end up swapping that over at some point. I'm not super worried about it right now. We need to worry about mounts and all the other shit that comes with putting a different engine in the car. Another good thing, since it has normal mounts and it's not wider at the bottom, it's narrower at the bottom, we'll be able to still get the motor out, up and down, going a lot easier. And I'm pretty sure I'll have to take some measurements. I should be able to weld that cross member back in normal and then bolt all my steering up, because as you can see, small block Ford, they have a big dip in their oil pan. Chevys do too, because your steering goes under there. Hondas don't need to do that because the engines are usually sideways. So I had to cut the living shit out of all that, and then I was going to have to make it back from scratch. I should be able, technically, or maybe I should say, I might be able to just put that back to stock and then slide this baby in there. So, very excited. Here's what's funny. If you've been following the CRX build at all, from the beginning, CRX was just going to be like a rat rod import. And what I mean by that is down and dirty, throw a big motor in it, have some fun. It turned into bags, wide body, roll cage, custom everything, and it obviously is great. It's gotten bigger. I've loved it. But the goal for the Toyota is to go back to that kind of down and dirty rat rod. I just want a big engine in a little car that we can have some fun with. We don't need to bag it. We don't need to go crazy. I might end up doing that later because it's me. But for now, I just want to get the old girl in there and see what happens. So let's get her cleaned up and get them damn headers off of there. Somebody is going to want those for derby, I'm sure. I definitely don't want them. Got her cleaned up, got her washed. Really not a bad looking engine at all. I need to get some paint. So tomorrow I'm gonna come in, I'll hit it again with brake cleaner just to get the engine degreaser I used is nasty. Shit like stays. I don't know what it was. It was a different brand. It's everywhere. I had to go get the hose to try and get some of it off of there, but it was eating the paint off. So it's a different one for me. But tomorrow I'm gonna come in, wipe it down, hit it with brake cleaner, wipe it down real good, and then paint it. And then I should have my mount so we can try and throw it in the car and see what happens. Sweet. Very happy to have this. All right. Got a bunch of paint stuff, more brake cleaner. That engine cleaner I used is nasty. It's like still on there, and this shop stinks more than you'd ever imagine. So we're going to use about 4 cans of brake cleaner, clean it off, and then prime it and paint it. The reason I'm doing that right now is so that in 5 or 6 hours when I come and work tonight, I can just work on getting the engine bolted up, put in the car, and not have to wait around for paint to dry. So we're going to do that right now. Check this out, though. I bought a 68 Cutlass today. It was 800 bucks. It was running and driving, and then it was wrecked. And then it sat for like 10 years, but everything looks pretty nice on it. And they actually already bought a brand new front bumper because that was what was in the wreck. Messed up the bumper and the driver's side fender. They took that off, so I need to get a new fender, but it's got the 350 Oldsmobile in it. I think we can get this baby running and driving. So stay tuned for videos on that coming up. But for now, we got to paint an engine. She's all painted up and looking pretty. Pop the valve covers off just to paint them. I am not reusing them. They are beat all to hell, and they had oil on them, so the paint's not sticking, but whatever. It'll look okay for now. Intake came out all right. The blue looks awesome. So yeah, we're going to let this shit dry. Come in, put it together, throw it in the car. We might try and start it. I already have videos of it running, but it could be fun. We could also wait till we get it in the car and start it. That might be more fun. Yeah, I don't know. We'll be back tonight to hopefully throw her in the Toyota. Okay. Everything is dry. Looks good. Got my brand new motor mounts. Got my transmission mounts. And motor mount brackets. I bought weld-in ones, obviously, because we need to weld some shit. I don't want to put my cross member in yet because I need to just do some checking. I need to cut those bars out that I used for the Honda motor mounts. We got to get those out of there. I got to get all this stuff bolted back up. Also, there is one problem that I forgot about. These demolition derby guys are pretty hard on stuff, and his yoke broke. And it does not want to come out. It's not seized on the slines. I just can't grab it enough to get it. I don't want to have to take the whole tail shaft off, but we're going to play with this for a little bit. I know that this seal is going to have to be removed, so maybe if that seal's out of there, I can grab on it, but I'm going to do this now because it's going to be a lot easier right now than it will be under the car. So yeah, we got a couple of little things we need to do. Then we'll pick the old girl up, see if it isn't going to fit in a Toyota. All right, check this out. I cut a little groove on it so my chisel would have something to bite to. And it started walking right out. Beautiful! It actually looks perfect. Just got a little boogered up at the end. Hell yeah! I'm gonna tap this seal back in there. Oh, maybe. There we go. We just don't want to push it in. Actually, I'm gonna cut this off because this edge is what's bad. I'm gonna cut that off and then slide it back in there. Not too far because I want to make sure I can get it back out. Oh, that's leaking bad. Holy shit. I always have my headphones in. I don't hear that until I start filming. I got the cross member sitting there. That definitely looks like it can go back in there, but I'm not going to do that yet. I still need to cut these bars out, but I'm probably going to go ahead and get that prepped so that I can weld it in if it's close. Just kind of slide it up in there and, tack it wherever it needs to be. But that would be huge because, as you can see, my steering sits on there. So it'll be a little too high probably because the steering sits on there, but I don't know. We'll see. I feel much better about not having to make that from scratch. At the very least, cut this up and make it work is going to be easier than I was going to have to make it all from scratch before because the Hondas sit way down in there. Let's cut some shit and then see what happens. Hopefully we can get her in there. All right, everything is cleaned up. I got her jacked up so it should slide under there. Might have jacked it up too much. We're probably gonna have to adjust that, but she's ready to go. I really want more angle, but Fords put their distributors in a very stupid place, right up front. So if I grab from that hole, it's just gonna shatter that. And I don't wanna take it out very badly because I know it's running the way it is. So we're gonna get creative. I guess I could technically take this out and make my chain longer. I might actually have to do that now that I'm looking at it because we really gotta torpedo the bitch down in there. Yeah, let's try that. Let's do that and see what happens. The only thing is, if I grab it from up there, it might be literally vertical. So I don't know, I'm gonna play with it a little bit. We're gonna time lapse it. Hopefully the next video of me talking is it in the car or close to being in the car. So as you can see, fits like a glove. I mean, it's perfect. Weld in the mounts, let's fire it up. This front support might need to get modified. I don't know. The good thing with the distributor being in the front is I don't have to worry about firewall clearance. I can really push it back there, but that cut might need to be a lot higher. But I don't know, we're gonna keep playing with it and see what happens. I was so worried about width, I didn't check links. So, yeah, we'll figure it out. Check it out, she's in. Now, problems. One, if you look at my engine mounts, I assumed I needed these forward so they could hit the middle of the cross member. Well, I actually need to flip them around, put this side on that side. That'll move this back about 2 inches and it'll be right there. I want to go back a little bit more. The only problem is I can cut a little bit of this out, but all of the dash stuff is an inch behind that. And if I basically leave the engine, I'm not talking a bunch more forward, but like 2 inches forward, I shouldn't have to cut anything in the dash. So you would still have, I mean, heater and everything. So that's kind of nice. But the farther back you go, obviously, the better the car rides. You want it as back as far as you can. So I don't know. I'm going to see how much I can trim, and then we'll see what we got to do to take stuff out of here. Oh, why are you not coming out? I thought you slid out. You don't slide out? Hey, well, there we go. Yeah, see, so if I got to cut any of this, I would rather not. I mean, I could technically take all that out. I don't want to very badly. But yeah, let's see. I'll trim the firewall as much as I can, and then we'll see what we can get into. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we have to take it out, but boy, it'd be nice to keep it. Even if you're not going to use it, it's nice to have it if, you know, you want to use it down the line at some point. So, but she's in right now, baby. It's sitting pretty. This transmission, even though we got to go back some more, it still fits in here better than that big-ass Nissan does. So that's nice. I do like that. Let's cut some shit and see what we can do. I'd love to be back 3 more inches if I could. But I mean, even there, we're about the center of the wheels, so it's not the end of the world. But back is always better. So let's see what happens. She's in. She's back. She's low. I'm freaking stoked. Fits way better than I thought it was. Check out my mounts. They land right on that cross member. I think we're still going to have to get cute with the steering, but it's closer than it was with the Honda, which is nice. Also, I got more room in here. Why is my air so leaky? I got more room in here than I did before, which is great. This is actually going to go down just a little bit. I'm making the mounts for the motor right now. Then we'll do the transmission mount. But it's wider up there, but skinnier back here. So my trans tunnel will essentially go back to stock size. And I think somewhere in this shop, or maybe in my junk bin, I still have this floor that I cut out. And obviously it needs to be a little bit higher, but that's pretty damn close because this had a pretty big hump in it anyway because it was a 5-speed. Other than up there, we're pretty close to the stock floor back here, which is great. Even if I have to make it from scratch, the fact that it's not gonna be, you know, that other transmission, I had to cut this because it was way up here. Very, very happy about that. Let's make some motor mounts first, and then we'll make a trans mount. I'm so excited! Okay, I got motor mounts bolted in. Haven't welded anything yet, but I bolted them tight enough that they should hold the engine. Let's find out together. She's sitting on her own motor mounts. Holy shit, that worked out perfect. Check it out. Mount there. I got the wrong size bolt, so I got like 10 washers on it. That's a different story. These took like a 1-inch bolt and they didn't come with them. Sitting on the cross member. Holy shit. I can't believe that. Didn't really have to make anything. Just had to grind the universal mounts so they fit the cross member. Everything's clearing perfect. Got plenty of room. Wow. Cool. Holy shit. All right, let's start messing with the transmission. Engine and transmission is mounted. It is actually sitting on the suspension. I still have the jack under there, and I still have the hoist just kind of holding it up because I want to weld it and I don't want anything to move around. I got a big brace to weld in the transmission and then a couple of gussets and then those engine mounts, and we are done. So let's weld some shit, baby. Whoa, there was a little bit of grease still on that cross member. Ugh. All right, let's see. Boom! She's sitting in the car, mounted. All right, I want to put my big ass carburetor on it, and then we'll probably call it a video. It is 5:30 in the morning, so yeah, let's do that real quick. Call it a day. Now, normally, if you have a running and driving engine, you should put the carb back on that was on that engine because you know it's guaranteed to work. The problem is, that's a big-ass carburetor and it looks great. I was going to swap the whole intake. I just went for a 2 to 4 adapter, which kind of kills a little bit of your flow, but I did that mainly because if for some reason this doesn't work out, we still have the carburetor that was on it, and that's a hopped up little 2-barrel, so it probably would have been fine, but look at it! It's a freaking beast! I'm so happy. I can't tell you how happy I am. I mean, so happy. Also the fact that I'm 3 wires and a drive shaft basically away from driving is huge. Any parts I need, have them at the parts store, get them at O'Reilly's, easy peasy. Have a fuel pump, need fuel line. That's about the only thing. I thought I had some, but I didn't. But I mean, we are cooking, baby. Also, that looks bitchin'. That looks way cooler to me than the Honda. Now, I'm not against the Honda. I don't hate the Honda. It's just above my knowledge, we'll say that. Now, problems we will have. Exhaust is going to be tight. Not too bad on this side, but we do have steering on this side. This side is going to be a doozy. Probably make your own type headers or run a turbo, just because a turbo, you know, your exhaust comes up, which might actually be easier than trying to shoot down that little hole because the starter's right there. If that starter wasn't there, it wouldn't be too bad, but I don't really want to cut the frame. Obviously, there's no real frame, but I don't want to cut that essentially frame out of this. So we will get creative on the exhaust, to say the least. Turbo would be fun, though. And God knows I like a turbo. But, sweet, man. Oh, I'm so freaking happy. I'm going to come in tomorrow, probably play with it a little bit more, maybe try and mess with my cross member, and then call this a video. I don't know how easy the cross member is going to be with the engine in there, but if I can get it even close, if I can just get it kind of in there, we can make the steering work, because the steering actually has a lot of play in it. It's actually on the ground right now. Now, obviously, that throws off your toe angle, but that just shows you can kind of put it about anywhere in there, and it mounts to that. So, yeah. Sweet, man. I'm so fucking happy. Oh, my God. You know what I need to check? Will the hood fit? I don't want to cut a hole in the hood if I don't have to. Ooh, damn. That might be close. Let's throw the hood on real quick before we call it a day. It's so close. It's literally like a 1/4 inch. It's hitting right on that brace. It catches the distributor. But boy, I mean, look how close it gets. It's just right there. So tomorrow we'll trim that brace out a little bit. Shouldn't have to get too crazy with it. Just basically right where it's hitting the distributor. And I think we're gonna be good. Yeah, it's close. It's right there. Oh shit, dude. That little Toyota rolls up. You do not think it's got a freaking 400 horsepower V8 Ford in it. Man, what are we doing? We got a Chevy and a Honda. We got a Ford and a Toyota. What kind of hot rod shop is this, man? I don't know, but damn it, we're having fun, baby. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed.
The next day.
All right, baby, we're back. I want to get the hood fitting. I think I can get away with just cutting this bracing, because this bracing sticks down like 2 inches. I have no idea why it sticks down that much. On a Honda, it's like a 1/2 inch. It didn't really help us much whenever we were trying to fit the V8 in the Honda. But this, I think if I just cut right where the distributor's hitting, I think we should be good to go. Also, I was going to try and get it running, but I think I'm going to wait on my fuel line. I've already heard it run. I have video of it running. There's no reason it shouldn't. Not saying that it can't. There's always an option for problems, especially in this shop, to be honest with you. But it's always better when they actually have fuel pressure, you know, from the tank. You don't have to just try and hit it with starting fluid over and over. Don't want to do that. So I'm going to wait on my fuel line. Also, I might try and reuse the stock tank. I'm not sure yet. I have a whole other tank I can throw in the trunk, but I might try and reuse the stock tank. These normally had a fuel pump in the tank. So if you're going to run an external pump, you have to change all that out. And I don't want to do all that in this video, but in the next video on this thing, we'll drop the tank and kind of do some investigating. If the tank's perfect, looks good on the inside, and we just need to change to an external pump, maybe we will, and just bolt it right back in there. I'm not sure. But for now, let's cut some shit. Tell ya, one good thing, whenever I cut that, it didn't move at all. Sometimes you get to cutting these out and it'll grab your blade because it's bending, but that's not bad. I need to get rid of this glue and then we'll check. All right, moment of truth. We should be good because that's actually really high. But, still not sure. Giant engine, tiny car. Yes! Holy shit! That is so awesome. I cannot believe that. Hey, Casey, you got a 100 horsepower 4-cylinder Toyota in that? Well, let me show you. Bam! 351 V8, baby! I cannot believe it fits. Holy shit, I'm so fucking happy. Exhaust is going to be tricky and fun, but there's a small block Ford in this thing. Wow! Yes! So happy. Not only does it look cool, but we quite literally moved 10 steps forward in this video. And I don't even mean because we switched engines. I just mean with what needed done. I'm closer to my steering being done. I'm closer to finishing the cross member. We're 2 to 3 wires away from starting and driving, basically. I cannot say that for the Honda. Needed to spend basically a couple grand on wiring, and it was going to be 2 to 3 weeks. So it just would have been another thing to order and wait around for, and that's not my thing. I was excited to try something new, you know, and kind of be crazy with this build. But to be honest with you, it's pretty freaking crazy to put a small block in a tiny car anyways. And that's just a little bit too far out of my comfort zone. I know a K-swap guy is going to see this and he's just going to be like, oh my God, you're so close. You only need this, this, and this. But I can't even find the parts around here. It's a pain in the ass. After talking to a couple different people, I would have been better off finding an engine that was running and driving with all of the wiring and then cut that wiring up. I bought this as essentially just a bare engine. They took sensors off of it. They took all kinds of stuff off that would have just been that much easier if they were already all there. So I learned that lesson. Also, I learned the easiest way to do a K2-4 swap if you're going to do rear-wheel drive is get an S2000 transmission, which is Honda's rear-wheel drive car. They essentially bolt right up. You don't have to deal with an adapter. You don't have to deal with any of that stuff. Also, they're tiny. That Nissan transmission is huge, so I was going to keep these around, but after talking to those guys, I would have been better with starting with a different setup altogether, motor and transmission, so we'll probably sell those. So I think I have $3,500 in that setup, maybe more. Anybody out here wants to give me like 2 grand, it's yours. Get it out of here. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So very excited. I got some stuff ordered for this. I think we're going to do a roll cage because obviously we need more structure to the car. Probably do strut bars, all kinds of stuff like that. So we're going to order a bunch of parts. But the next video should be pretty soon because I do want to get it running and driving. I do have the Toyota drive shaft. We're just going to have to get a Ford yoke for the front, but we're pretty damn close. So very, very excited. I am so happy with how this thing come out. I can't believe someone who's built hot rods for 20 years, 15 years now. I have 2 imports in the shop, but Casey's Custom style, they got American muscle in them, so they're for dummies like me. So if you are not subscribed, please hit that button now for the coolest merchandise on the planet. Go to Caseyscustoms.com. Merch, hats, all kinds of good stuff. We got beanies coming in pretty soon, so stay tuned for all that and more. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all the good shit they tell you at the end of videos, and check out some more of my other videos. Peace! I love you.